Peter, before we let you go, we've caught you a few times recently on the College Football Live show. That's got to be a lot of fun. You get to spread your wings, stretch out beyond the SEC a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's a really fun-paced show. Everybody's laid back. Get to talk to Andre Ware and Brock Heward. The guys that we kind of text back and forth all week long during the seasons. With Booger and Marcus Spears and Feinbaum. But then finally, hey, we get to talk football. And I like it because I follow the game close enough that we do on the podcast that I finally get an opportunity to do it on ESPN. So that's been a blast. And although everybody was kind of surprised when we were talking college football playoff, I said, there's a better chance that the SEC goes 0-2 I think that's a better chance of happening than the SEC going 2-0 in the playoff games.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to talk after the Alabama selection against Ohio State, but I think that might have been like a 20-minute conversation or / debate or something like that.
I know you weren't a fan of it. I know that you wanted Ohio State in there, and I didn't necessarily. I mean, listen. I thought Alabama should be in there simply for the fact that I thought that they were one of the top 4 teams. Even though they didn't play like the Alabama that we've seen over the last couple years, they weren't as dominant. I still thought that they were one of the top 4 teams, and I just couldn't get over. I don't care what team it was. I couldn't get over a second loss and one giving up 55 points to a pretty good Iowa team, especially at Kinnick. That's a hard place to play at. But losing by 31, that was the thing to me. As I cherish the regular season, I think the committee does as well, Mark, that you lose by 31 points. That's fine if that's your only one loss. But if you already had another 2-touchdown loss to Oklahoma, I think the committee did the right thing. They didn't have to. The committee could have easily said, hey, you know what? We're going to put Ohio State in. That way we got 4 of the 5 conferences in. Sorry, Alabama. But you know what? I think that they said our job here is to put the best 4 teams in. And I feel like they went against the easy out. And I respect them for that.
Well, you definitely have a different perspective than the rest of us because you've been through the mock play out of the college football selection. So you've got that slice of it that the rest of us don't.
And that's why I knew. I've gone to that committee, and I can just vividly remember. I think we looked at 2012 as the season we did the mock selection, and I can vividly remember, as much as we talked about the good wins, it was who did you lose to? And I can remember that just being something when I went through the whole process of saying, we kept going back is, okay, they're good. These are how good they are on their best days, but were they consistent? And I can remember thinking, okay, teams that lost badly, oh, man, that's tough. And I think that's why I don't know if I would have been able to, gone behind Alabama so hard had I not been through that process to see how much the committee really values bad losses.
And I'm not discounting USC, who actually had a better strength of schedule than the other 2, but they didn't really have any wins outside of the 2 Stanford wins that really resonated with anyone. I just thought Ohio State had the better resume. I'm not arguing that they're the better team. I'm more of a resume guy than trying to figure out who the better team is, eyeball test.
I think had Alabama not played what I think the committee thought was going to be a pretty good Florida State team, had they not lost DeAndre Francois, had they played Kennesaw State Tech, I think that they would have said, you know what, hey, Alabama, you just don't have the resume. But I think for the committees, they want to champion these early big-time games. And Alabama at least stepped up. Remember, we thought this was going to be we were calling it the GOAT, the greatest opener of all time. It was 1 versus 3. Florida State didn't, I think their season changed when Francois went down. So I get it what happened, but, that's why we got.
And that's the wild card analysis game of the entire season was the Florida State game, because you could go either end of the spectrum. Is this the number 3 team in the country, or is this the 6-6 team? And I think somewhere in the middle is the right way to slice it, and that might be what the committee did. It was probably a good Florida State team that they played on that day. All right, Peter, I see you up and about, so I think that's my cue.
Head in here to the studios. We're getting ready to talk some basketball. Jimmy Dykes is in there. In fact, we'll say hi, too. We got Jimmy Dykes, got Antoine Walker over there. So yeah,
very cool.
At all our games, so this is a little behind the scenes. So I got to roll. So
okay, Peter, we appreciate it.
All right, bud. Talk to you soon.
You have a great night. Bye-bye.